Yes, I really do believe that we are going to need those people because the demands are now very impressive, but somewhat overwhelming. For example, one of the things where security today is different from in the past is that you need what we call a joined up approach, the comprehensive approach. You can't solve a military problem without speaking to the economic experts, the development community, the intelligence community, for example. You need to speak to the diplomats. If you just work on the military aspect, you get nowhere. The threat doesn't go away, and many of your efforts don't produce any long-term impact. I've dealt with a lot of problems here at NATO where I started out with a military approach, like on piracy or dealing with explosives in Afghanistan, and realised at the end of the day that if I wasn't talking, for instance, to the local police or the local intelligence community or the customs organisation, I really wasn't finding a proper solution. So I think the first thing where we need young professionals is this ability to talk many languages. And I don't mean French or Spanish, I mean many sort of narrative languages simultaneously, to get the military to cooperate, but also to speak to the development community and get them to cooperate, to know how to build bridges. The threats all come in the form of networks, you know, organised crime with terrorism, for example. And it takes a network to defeat a network. So I think this is the first aspect, learning these sort of multidisciplinary skills, being comfortable in many different areas, seeing the connections and pulling things together into a coherent package. That's first. Second issue is that many of the security challenges involve working with very different cultures. For example, when I first went to Afghanistan, the first thing I recognised is that, you know, their culture is not our culture. And if we just go in like a Western army, we are not going to have the support of the local population. If we, you know, mistreat Korans, don't respect women, go into houses at night, the locals are going to see us very quickly as an occupation force. And so today you need that ability to understand the culture on the ground in Damascus, in Beirut, in Kabul, elsewhere. And I hope also that this programme will produce that kind of cultural awareness and this adaptability, which I think is going to be key. Third thing, which I mentioned, I repeat it, is that our knowledge does not last very long. Knowledge that used to get you through 10 years now gets you through 10 days, 10 hours, 10 minutes. And therefore this ability to always take a new look at the problem, not be the victim of conventional wisdom, received ideas, always be asking challenging questions with an inquiring mind. And I think hopefully that is going to be a skill which is essential today that we are going to inculcate into the students. So as I said, whether they bring peace to the world, that's up to them and that's their challenge. But the aim is to at least give them the fundamental tools with which they can take on that task. Vesalius is in a very good position, I think, with its culture so far, and it's such a multinational student body and a multinational faculty, and also I think it's got the good links. Every time I've been there, I've been impressed with the fact that, you know, I recognise a few military colleagues, but I'm on a panel with people who come from sociology, come from development, you know, different fields, and I think at the beginning, oh my God, you know, we're never going to be able to communicate with each other. But once we sit down, we all recognise that we've identified the same problem, but we're coming at it from different angles with different experience. And I think, you know, that's exactly, you know, what today's young professional really needs to have.